even as adults, we
Yeah.
struggle with that self-talk a
Yes.
lot. It's so easy to get into that negative mindset. You hear all the time, talk to yourself as you would talk to others.
Right?
But we don't do that. We're so hard on ourselves. We're our
So
toughest
hard.
critics.
I always call it slaying the inner naysayer. And I often talk with my girlfriends, my coworkers, my clients that I have with Energy is Serenity. When that negative thought starts coming in, say, nope, like push it away.
Hi, I am Donna McDine, and welcome to the Energy of Serenity podcast. Here we unleash empowerment through the power of the word. Join me and my guest as we share stories, tools, and insights to help you feel grounded and aligned. Let's dive in.
Welcome. This is Donna McDine here of the Energy Serenity podcast. I am thrilled to have my longtime friend, Lori Sims, with us today. And much has changed in our world since we first met. So welcome, Lori. So great to have you here today.
I love being on here, Donna. Thank you so much for having me. I know I'm trying to think. It's been years since we've known
Years.
each other.
Oh my gosh, years. So before we really get into our conversation, I wanted to share with the listeners a bit about you. So Lori is an educator for over 10 years and now an education writer. She believes in building strong minds and strong bodies. A devoted gym rat, she loves weightlifting and powerlifting. Uh, I am so inspired by the videos that you share with your weightlifting career, I want to say, really.
I don't know if it's really a career, but yeah,
Oh, it's
just,
amazing. So,
it's kind of evolved.
right. And I'd really like to learn how you evolved from when we first met at the SCBWI, which is the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. Oh my gosh, it has to be 15 to 18 years ago. Has
Yeah,
to
I
be,
was
right?
thinking, right?
And
Almost 20 years.
right. And how you evolved to becoming a school teacher and now an education writer. And how has that journey been for you? And during that time, raising two boys who are now college, which is just incredible. So I'd really like you to share with the listening audience how you evolved from writing children's books to becoming a school teacher, education writer, and your gym rat days.
Yeah, I have a very interesting background, that's for sure. Graduated college and actually went to school for communications and worked in television production for 10 years for World Wrestling Entertainment. And that's when I had my boys. I had two boys and became a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
And that's kind of when my journey into writing actually started, was when my own kids were little. We just read so many children's books together, and I love seeing how stories could spark their imagination and their confidence. And that inspired me to start writing my own books. And eventually I started doing school visits and library visits and, to share my books. And I just realized this is so much fun. I love being with kids. I love seeing their faces light up when you read a story. And that kind of led me into teaching. And I went back to school and got my master's in education and became an elementary school teacher for over a decade. I taught kindergarten. I had the littles. I taught kindergarten for 3 years and taught first grade for 10 years.
Wow.
Um, yeah, or I should say, first grade was 9 years. But anyway, it was fun teaching the littles. And, then just had an itch to move down south for warmer weather. And
It was great timing considering the tri-state area here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We had a true winter this year.
I know. I've seen the pictures from friends, the amount of snow. I don't miss that part, that's for sure.
Good.
Yeah, so headed down south and just got a job as an educational writer. So I'm glad that I still kind of get to use my mix of communications background, but also my education and my writing background to write articles now for administrators and special ed directors, so still kind of leading that voice and still shaping education a little bit. And it's been a really interesting journey how my background has really kind of blended together into this now.
It certainly has. And when you were teaching the littles, and I love how you refer to the younger kids, I think that's phenomenal. Did you share your books with them?
I did, yeah, and that was a big part of it, especially teaching writing to my students
Hmm.
to show them that anybody can be an author. We're all authors. We all write stories. We all have stories to tell. And if Mrs. Calabrese can do it, then you can too, and they really enjoyed, sitting and hearing the stories and actually seeing my face with a little blurb in the
Aw,
books.
that's
Yeah. So
great.
having them do their own books like that and having their pictures on there and just letting them know they were so inspired and they realized, oh yeah, I could do this too.
That's fantastic. I love that because my girls, when they were in elementary school, they actually had the children write their own stories. They created them into books for the class, and it was such a neat process to see them go through it. And so when you're writing, regardless of what the topic is, and then when you were teaching, how important was it for you of the power of the word? Of really trying to uplift your students that you had, and now uplifting the adults that you're writing for through your education writing.
Yeah, words really do. Words have such a powerful effect, not just for kids, but also adults, and the words we use can shape how children see themselves, how confident they feel, even how they approach challenges,
Right.
So as a writer, I really try to be really intentional with the words I choose. Children's books may look simple, but every word matters because it helps build that message and the feeling behind the story. And even as a teacher, it was the same idea. Encouraging words can make a huge difference in a child's confidence and willingness to try something new. And it's amazing, right? What a few supportive words from a teacher can do for a student, so I would always try to use that language to lift kids up and help them believe in themselves and just remind them that learning and growing is a process. Learning's hard for adults, we're still learning. There's
Still
so
learning.
much knowledge, right? So much learning out there, so much knowledge to gain. So just kind of empowering them with your
Mhm.
words to know that they can do it.
And I love the word empowering. And as you see the changes in your students while when you were in the trenches of teaching, it must have really raised your confidence level as a teacher when you see those changes in the students and how they're walking lighter because they're like, wow, my teacher really listened to what I was saying and I feel strong in this. And to see those changes in the young student
Um,
is just phenomenal because sometimes they have a hard time talking to themselves in an uplifting manner because unfortunately at times we're so anyone at any age level we're so oh well what is he or she doing over there, why can't I do it as good as them? And when they're giving that empowerment that their words and their actions and their thoughts matter, it's just so beautiful, so
and
beautiful.
even as adults, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
struggle with that self-talk a
Yes.
lot. It's so easy to get into that negative mindset, right? And you hear all the time, talk to yourself as you would talk to others.
Right.
But we don't do that. We're so hard on ourselves. We're our
So
toughest
hard.
critics.
Right. And I always call it slaying the inner naysayer. And I often talk with my girlfriends, my coworkers, my clients that I have with Energy is Serenity. When that negative thought starts coming in, say, nope, like push it away. And, either just do a deep breath, shake it out, and be like, no, 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 no. That negative self-talk will just deplete me, not just
Mm.
emotionally, but physically too.
It
Because
does.
you sit there and you're like, well, why am I talking to myself that way? I would never talk to
Yeah,
anyone else in that manner. And when you start changing the way you speak to yourself, that whole powerfulness of the word and that empowering it brings, it's like, wow, okay, this is good. This is
it
a good
is.
feeling. And then it's seen outwardly as well to other
Mhm.
people. And they see that brightness. And then that's when those engaging conversations start. And it's just beautiful how more and more that people are connecting and realizing that that power of the word can really transform someone's day. Something as simple as just saying good morning to someone, that blouse looks beautiful on you. It just lightens the mood. It's
It's true. You don't know what everybody else is dealing with.
right.
You don't know the kind of day they're having. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe something is happening in their family and their relationships. And like you said, just the power of the word to say hi or good morning. And it really can lift somebody up.
Most definitely.
And
So
we all
bringing
need
that
that.
into your world in the gym. So I would like you to share with our listeners, because when I say she's a gym rat, I don't just mean that she's getting on the treadmill and those other machines and staying physically fit. You are a weightlifting gym rat. And I want to hear about what propelled you into that world. It's fascinating. And
I
anytime I see
know.
those videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, Lori, go.
So I hit perimenopause and gained some weight and really wanted to lose those last 10 pounds. And
Right?
it was a struggle. And I broke down and I said, you know what? I'm going to get a coach. It's time. Like, I really need help locking in. Like, I'm doing everything right. I'm watching my food.
Mhm.
I was working out at home, just kind of lifting dumbbells and
Right.
doing my stationary bike and, some yoga. And I broke down and I got a coach because I really wanted to learn more and dive
Mhm.
into it.
Right.
And my coach was a powerlifting coach. She was really big into powerlifting. And she taught me that whole different mindset that women can lift heavy. And I really started diving into the research on it. And it's so true. Women in midlife really will get so much benefit from lifting heavy. But we weren't raised like that, right?
No,
We were
absolutely
raised
not.
with eat your salad, eat less.
Yep.
Run, do as much cardio as you can. And it's such a big mind shift right now. And there
Yeah.
really is kind of this women's revolution going on, right? With getting your protein intake and hitting your water and get to the gym and lift heavy. And I had never stepped into a gym before. I had always worked out at home. So
Right.
it was a
Because
it
it
was
was
a whole
easier.
new experience.
Yeah. Wow. So,
And it could be intimidating, but
oh my goodness,
I
yes.
know.
And then when you connect
Honestly,
with that coach that really not only is coaching you, but teaching you how to lift properly and where to start, because you probably stood, I know I would have stood there and be like, "Well, I don't even know where to begin." So when you connected with your coach, did she or he, I'm sorry, I forget what you said, I'm sorry.
no,
Do
it's okay. It was a she.
Did she use specific words to keep you motivated
She
and to
did.
get out of
Yeah,
your own inner spiral?
absolutely.
Okay.
Words are so important when it comes to weightlifting and powerlifting. One, just there's so many cues that go through your head with practicing form as far as, like your body movements and what you're focusing on and which muscle. But also, yeah, the power of words internally, that internal dialogue. Um, it's it's mental strength, not just physical strength, and the way that we talk to ourselves before a lift can completely change the outcome. If your internal voice is saying, I'm not strong enough or I can't do this, it's going to affect your confidence and
Right.
your performance. But when you shift that language to something like, I'm prepared, I'm strong, or I'm doing the work, it changes your mindset. And I have to tell this story. There's one of my favorite athletes. I don't know how old she is. I swear, I think she's 8 years old. Her name is Lucy Milgram,
Okay.
and she is a really young power lifter. And it just shows that we can learn from kids too, because she can lift like double her body weight.
Wow.
She's so amazing. But every time she does a lift, before she does it, she'll tell herself, I got this.
Aw.
Right. So she already knows the power of words, right? And that mental strength and speaking positive to yourself, like, I got this, right? It's just
And that's
amazing.
phenomenal because I would love to know, and I'm sure that is probably translated into every other aspect of her life, academic, if
Probably.
she plays sports, whatever else that she may be doing. I'm sure she has that witherall of knowing that, and how beautiful at
Absolutely.
that young age to know
To
that.
to know that already,
I
huh?
love
I
it.
can't wait to see how far she's gonna go.
Right. I love that because how empowering it is for her at such a young age that she's got this. I love
I
it. I
know.
love
She's
it.
amazing.
And hopefully, and I'm sure she's inspiring her peers as well. And that's
And
just,
adults
yes,
too. She has such a huge
absolutely.
following.
And
Yep.
then with adults, we're probably saying to ourselves, we wish we would have known that back then.
Exactly. If
And
only I'd known what she knows now.
yeah, and talk about good girl power. That is
Yes,
self-image and just going for what she wants. That's just beautiful. I love it. I thank you for sharing
exactly.
that because it really, like you said, it really shows by action that it doesn't matter what your age is, your inner thoughts and what you say are imperative that they're positive and uplifting. And yes, we all have our bad days and then we move on. But if we chronically speak to ourselves in that negative aspect, that we're depleting ourselves emotionally and physically before you know it.
Mhm.
And it's a shame. So the more that's shared out there, that the positivity of those words and living in the positive words and really knowing we're all capable of doing what our
Mhm.
deepest desires are. If
Yep,
we would just allow ourselves to do it and,
absolutely, right?
and not to
I
worry about what people think you should be doing. Do
exactly.
what is your deepest desire and you'll succeed. And
And
that,
I learned that being
yeah,
in the gym, walking into the gym. I don't know how old I was, 45, 46, walking into a gym for the first time. And that negative self-talk creeps in, and you're like,
who do I
oh, I
think
don't
I
belong
am?
here. You're looking around and there's all these jack dudes and, all these younger, fit women. You're like, what am I doing here? I don't belong. But it turns out in the long run, honestly, like so many of the people that I've met in the gym have really become family and some of my closest friends. And they would support you all the time. So just the same thing happens in conversations, right? With coaches and training partners and other people in the gym. And those words that they use to encourage you and correct your form or push you through a tough lift can really make a big difference. And it creates that environment where people really build each other up and believe in what they're capable of. And, the gym for me really kind of became an outlet for me, to release a lot of stress. But also, too, like you said, to work on that mental aspect of the positive self talk and just building relationships with others to kind of help lift and motivate each other and lift each other up.
And I love that lifting each other up because we need more of that in every aspect of our lives. And
We
that not
do.
everything is a competition. Everything is about that loving grace of raising one another up. And when we really innately feel that with whatever we're doing, the energy changes in the room for so much
Right?
positive, and it's that beautiful ripple effect. And then by doing that in the gym, and then when you all depart and you go back to your homes, and you really have that beautiful spring in your step and all excited for what you accomplished there, the conversations that goes into your, like, your friendships outside the gym, your coworkers, your family, and they're like, wow, if she's able to do something like this,
Mhm.
then why can't I? Let me get the
It's
conversation
interesting that
going.
you say that because, yeah, in the gym, I had some friends, who would reach out to me and, they'd be impressed at the weight that I was lifting and the numbers going up. And they would say, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, you know what? We don't say that enough to each other. Like, what simple words, right? I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
And that just lifted me up. And like you said, you take that elsewhere. And I would take it back to the classroom with my students, and even my own kids. And the power of just telling somebody, I'm proud of you.
right. And
That's
it does,
another thing. It just lifts you up.
right. And it doesn't, saying you're proud of someone, that doesn't end if you're a parent and all of a sudden your children are now out of the house, paying their own way in this world. Anybody and everyone needs to hear from someone that I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. Keep going. And don't be discouraged, because just, you've got this. It's just, and it just translates into such beauty. And when people hear that from the smallest to the oldest, it's really, it's just so impactful. So
It
impactful.
is. There's
And
no age limit on those words, like you
no,
said.
there
They
really
all affect
isn't.
us the same way.
It truly does. And it really does put a spring in your step. Like, wow, someone noticed that I've been working hard at this and I'm starting to really do well in it. And everybody's path is so different with what their desires are. But those fundamental words, I'm proud of you, you've got this, keep going, don't stop, is transcends over everything and anything. Yeah,
It's amazing, isn't it?
it really is
Words really do
amazing.
have the power to shape how people think about themselves, what they believe that they can achieve.
And I love it that you never stepped into a gym until you're like, you know what? I need to make a change. What I'm doing at home is just not propelling me to the next level of fitness. And did you think you were going to the gym because you just really wanted that coaching to get yourself physically fit, and never realizing it would transpire into this beautiful weightlifting?
No, I never imagined that I would be here where I am lifting the weight that I'm lifting right now. I've built my Instagram page, because meeting with my coach, you would record your lifts and
Mhm.
send them to her, when you weren't training in person.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
lot of services now that coaches offer that you can train with them online
Oh, neat.
and you don't have to be in person with them. So, but you would still record your form on your phone and upload it to them. And they'll give you, the constructive criticism back on how you can improve and improve your form. So I'm like, well, you know what? I have these videos. I might as well start posting them on
Yeah,
Instagram.
why
It's kind
not?
of an accountability thing. It holds you accountable. And, you put it out there. And it's nice to see your progress too. It reminds you how far you've come.
Mhm.
But along the way, so many people have reached out to me and said, wow, you know what? You're so inspiring. It's so great to see that. Like, you don't see a lot of women our age getting into weightlifting and powerlifting because, like I said before, we just weren't taught that. We grew
Absolutely.
up in a different generation where it was skinny. Skinny was important, not strong and building
Right.
muscle like it is now.
And it's so,
Um,
and I like that you touch on that, that, and it's not making a generalization, but your weight on your scale is not definitive on how fit you are. And because you may look thin, you may not be strong enough. So
Yeah.
really paying attention to our muscles and building that and not worrying about the number on the scale and having to fit in a certain size. This is empowering because now you have made not only your body more physically fit with the muscle mass, but your brain muscle as well. Because you're like, nope, this, I need to do something different on this. This is
Yeah, that
approach and this is what's been effective for me. So that's beautiful. So do you compete?
so I have done one powerlifting meet. It
Okay.
was, I think, 2 years ago. I
Okay.
did my first powerlifting meet. We had a team in the gym, my coach and some of the other girls that she trained. And some of the girls were doing the meet. And for months, they would all be like, Lori, you have to do a meet. You're so strong. You can do this. And I was horrified. I was like, I can't do that. Are you kidding me? And again, right? Those negative thoughts creep in. But yeah, peer pressure, they're like, you got this, you can do it again, right? The power of words. They
Yeah.
all encourage me. They're like, you got this, you can do it. And we all kind of went in together, motivating and supporting each
Beautiful.
other. And I did my first powerlifting meet, and it's definitely intimidating being up on that stage and having everybody watch you do a big lift. But afterwards, again, that word empowering, it was so empowering. You feel so rewarded. It's like you've worked so hard for this to get up on a stage and be able to show others how hard you've worked and what you're capable of. It's really rewarding, and you
Beautiful.
just hope that you inspire others along the way.
Great.
Like,
And
if I could do this, anybody could do it.
great. And then oftentimes we don't even realize who's watching and becoming inspired. And then, of course, with Instagram and all the other social media handles, having people reach out to you and be like, wow, this is inspiring. That is uplifting to you and gives you even more encouragement to continue onward.
It
And
does.
oftentimes, there's probably people you've never even physically met before that
No,
are just connected with you through technology. So that's beautiful. And you don't even know at times how far your impact goes. And then when you do get those little snippets back, oh my gosh, this is empowering. This is, I want to go to the gym now and do this for myself. Maybe not weightlifting, but really to just uptick the health. And
yeah, move your body, do
yeah,
something, right?
yeah. And I
I
love that
know.
move your body because we exercise our brain all day long. But oftentimes, many of us are sitting at that computer all day. We only move every couple of hours. So to really keep getting up and moving, I have a coworker, she gets up every hour and she does a lap around because work in a big building. She does that lap around and it brightens her mood, keeps her moving, and then it empowers other people too. Hey, wait a minute, I got to get up. I haven't gotten up in a while. Because then you start to realize, like, wait a minute, I'm sitting there working on this whatever for how long? I need to get up and move. And just
You do. You just get lost in it.
you do.
Technology is so good, but it can be so bad.
Absolutely. So I love how across the spectrum of the many hats you've worn, of the power of the word, and how it's really transformed your life continually for the better, and especially for the students that you've come in touch with, which is just beautiful. Before we close out today, I would like you to share with the Energy Serenity listeners how they can connect with you to learn more about your journey, even if they just want to watch from afar.
So most of my stuff is on Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram, Lori Lifts Heavy.
Okay.
I should pop up. But yeah, you'll see. Look for, a 50-year-old. I'm 50 now. Last year was a big year, Donna.
You look
Look for a
gorgeous, my
50-year-old.
dear. Yeah.
Thanks, Donna. So yeah, look for that 50-year-old lifting heavy weights and deadlifting and squatting and benching, and you'll know you found the right page. But hopefully I could just inspire somebody. And like I said, if I could do it, anybody can do it. I really hope women pick up some iron, pick up some weight, start really thinking about their health and, think strong, not skinny. We want to be those grandmas who are picking up their grandkids, who can bend down and pick up those grandkids and play with them on the floor and be strong. That's basically what it comes down to.
I love it. I love that you're wrapping up the interview today with be strong. What powerful words. Powerful. Lori, I cannot thank you enough for visiting with me today and sharing your journey and giving true, empowering words to our listening audience. And for the men out there, those words are not just for the women.
Not at
We're
all.
still strong too, and we've all got this.
We do, Donna. We got this.
Thank you, Lori. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Energy of Serenity podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to explore the power of the word, mindfulness, and calming practices with me. My gift to you is $10 off any Energy of Serenity service, class, or product when you opt in to the Energy of Serenity newsletter at energyofserenity.com/newsletter and enter coupon code THANKYOU all lowercase. If today's episode resonated, please subscribe and engage in the comments. Until next time, may your energy be serene and your words be empowered. Namaste.